Thank you for joining us. Can you let us know that you are listening to us, then you can see us? Can you see? Can you see Nick, me, and Deb? Say yes. Yes, I'm fine. Super. Thank you so much. So I am super excited today because on screen we have 3 continents today. So there is me, Europe. There is Debbie, which is in Africa, second continent, and there is Nick, which for me is Oceania. I always forget. Pak. Pak is the name in there. No?
I'm from Australia, mate.
Okay, let's make it easy. She's from Australia. Okay. So to sum up, I'm really, really happy. And as you can hear us, let's start like this because Debbie has a super presentation, and so she will share maximum of information with you. Let me share first of all my screen, and let me introduce you to enter screen. Let me introduce you to SEO Nord Switzerland. Okay, I show. Exactly. This is SEO Nord Switzerland. So Isaline and I have co-founded SEO Nord Switzerland maybe normally Isaline is here to help me in 2019. So it's already 4 years then we have this, and we started because we wanted to interact with other SEO. We wanted to share knowledge. That it was like the main goal, and we couldn't find anything in Switzerland, so we decided to do it. And this is the name SEO Nerd Switzerland. As you probably noticed, it is no more just about Switzerland. So we are very, very happy to have great people joining SEO Nerd Switzerland. Everybody's great in this group, I would say. So let's speak about the sponsor, because the sponsor are the reason why we can continue SEO Nord Switzerland, and we don't have to pay everything with our pocket. So thank you so much for the sponsor. Exactly. First sponsor is Leap. Leap is a web and mobile agency which does everything. Also SEO. I work at Leap, so they also do SEO. And yes, this is about Leap. Then we have Equal. So Equal is a full service agency. Also, they do they also do development. They do online marketing. Really, they do everything. So full agency. Next, work in SEO. I'm sure that many of you know work in SEO because Isaline is like she does the podcast of work in SEO where people share their story, all their career, a plan of information about their career. So it's like a fantastic podcast. If you never heard to it, please go. And moreover, you have like a board, a job board. So you can always see which SEO jobs are available. Thank you, Darina, for this. Woo-hoo-hoo. So now, let's speak directly about our next speaker. So our next online event is with Catherine. She will speak about log file analysis. So if you do not know what the log file is, it's like a sort of, how can I explain it? A sort of memory of what's happening, all the interaction that you can have in your system. Let's say it like this. So she will speak about that, and is really interesting. Log file are always interesting to check. You can always check, for example, how Google is behaving on your website. So it's like great insight. This will happen in June. Before June, we will have another event, which will be Isaline driving this event, and it will be a physical event in May in Bern. If ever you are around, just join us. Exactly. So we are very happy also to have a physical event. We will let you know more about that. Now, let me introduce you Deborah. So I'm very, very happy to introduce Deborah, which is our speaker. Why? Because Deborah, she is a content writer, or she was a content writer, let's say. So she knows a lot about SEO. She knows a lot about content. But what is like incredible, she started doing the switch to tech SEO. So I feel that she's a complete person because she have an understanding on how important also crawling and indexing are for everything that is content related.
Snaps to you, Deborah. Snaps to you. Love it. Love it.
So thank you so much. At the moment, she's a freelance. What else can I say, Deborah? Probably you can introduce yourself too. These are just some information about you. Oops. So these are just a few information about you, but they are like, yeah. Do you want to start? Let's do it.
Thank you, Sarah. You've said it all, actually. I started as a content writer a few years ago. Oh, I would say 2 years ago, to be precise. But last year, I ventured into tech SEO through mentorship with a leader. And that was when I started doing and implementing SEO. And that was when I also saw that SEO is more than content, is more than keyword research. There are a lot of things that actually go into that.
Excellent, Debbie. Thank you so much for the introduction. Do you want to share your slide? So we go with your presentation.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Okay. So I will share my screen and please let me know when you see it.
Okay, we will let you know.
And if while Deborah is lighting up her slides, if you've got any questions, feel free to pop it into the chat, and we will answer them at
the end.
At the end.
Exactly, we will take them at the end. So, okay, we can see the screen, Deborah.
All right, so are we good to go?
Good to go.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you everybody for coming here today. I'm so excited to share my little knowledge about SEO and talking about the basics of SEO. I'm so happy to discuss about them today. All right, so today we would be discussing about bridging the gap between technical and content SEO. And I have my reasons for picking this particular topic. Like I introduced myself the other time that I started my career as a freelance content writer. I still do little writing, but not that much because I'm fully into tech SEO right now. And like I said, my journey in tech SEO started last year during mentorship with a leader by the FCDC. So it has been a fantastic journey for me to see that SEO isn't just about content, isn't just about doing keyword research. And with that, I'm so happy to share my experience and my knowledge with content writers out there, because when we hear SEO, a lot of times most people think it's all about keyword research, plug it to your document, publish it, and then wait for the ranking. But the truth of the matter is that it's more than that. And why that is why we have the topic today, bridging the gap between technical SEO and content SEO. And I hope that we'll rock it together today. All right. So our focus today would be understanding the relationship between technical SEO and content SEO. We will also look at why it's important to consider the two elements together in our SEO process. And lastly, how to bridge the gap between technical SEO and content SEO. So to start with, I just want us to take a moment to think about it. What's the goal of SEO? What does SEO stand to achieve? Because I think if SEO does not have a specific goal that it achieves, business owners won't be coming to SEO experts or SEO analysts to help them, because there are absolutely other alternatives to SEO, which is the paid ads. But looking at SEO, what does SEO achieve specifically? So I would say in just one sentence that SEO generates organic traffic to websites through higher rankings. So I want us to pick some keywords in this goal of SEO, and that is the organic traffic. That is what SEO really focus on, generating organic traffic to websites and through higher rankings. So now it's obvious that ranking is just a means to an end. That is not the final status. That is not the actual goal. The goal for business owners, if we should ask a business owner today, what do you think SEO achieves? For them, it's about conversion. It's about maybe sign ups or getting sales. And that is why I included ranking at the middle of this funnel, because the higher ranking is achieved, the more the traffic. And for the traffic, how business owners will know that, oh, yes, we are getting traffic is when they can see sign ups or sales as they have desired. So I would love to say that ranking is a means to an end. But again, let's consider it. Since we said that SEO generates organic traffic through ranking, how do we achieve this ranking that we are talking about? But because it seems that a lot of people talk more about ranking than any other thing. They don't know what goes into ranking. What are the things that we really need to achieve before we get to ranking? So we will look at it that SEO, even from the definition, it's about optimization for search engines. That is what SEO is all about. But again, what are we optimizing in this context? Are we just optimizing our social media pages? Are we just optimizing anything? To be specific, SEO optimizes website elements, because there are a lot of elements that make up a website, and that is what SEO focuses on, optimizing each of these elements to ensure that our content, our website is relevant to search engines and it's user friendly to them as well. So what are the basic elements that make up website? Like I said, that this topic is focusing mainly on the basic elements of websites. That's why I said the basic elements of a website are content and technical elements. So from the image that we can see on the screen now, I will see that there's some information on this screen. I know that there are some people that can actually understand and read what is on the screen, while some people cannot read it. But as far as we can see this, it is an information. So I will call this a content, since it's an information that we can read, although we might not be able to understand it. And that is because we do not understand the technical jargons that has been written on the screen. But these are things that browsers, computer search engines can actually understand. So we would say that technical elements, they are the logic behind how contents are being placed on websites, whether for users, whether for search engines or for human. For human, it is the technical element is actually the back end of what the users can see on the screen, while for search engines, they can see it and understand. Without these two elements, I don't think we can have a website. To understand what I'm trying to talk about, I want to drop a particular link here, and we would now understand how content and technical elements are the basic elements of a website. A minute, please. Okay, so please, um if you are close to your system or your phone, just try to click that link and you would see what it will show. It will show on the screen. Because, and why it will show that, I will have to leave that as a question to us. And that is what I'm trying to explain here, that the basic elements that make up websites is the content and the technical elements. All right. So in our SEO process, should we consider technical SEO aside and content SEO? aside, or should we consider them as a twins like this? Should they work together like this, or should we consider them separately? But I believe that by the end of this discussion, we'll be able to decide which one we actually want to go for. So why should we consider content and technical SEO? Because before you start working in a particular part, you need to understand the why, so that you can exert more efforts, so that you can know whether to choose it or to drop it. The first thing I want us to consider is how Google perceives content. Now, when we are talking about search engines, we tend to mention Google as if it's the only search engine in the market. But the truth of the matter is that Google has taken the larger percentage of the search engine market. And that is why most businesses are actually rushing to Google to showcase their website, to showcase their services or products. So if we are trying to consider, should I do technical and content SEO together in my SEO strategy, we need to think about it from the standpoint of Google. How does Google perceives content? The first thing is that Google considers content relevance in a way that when a searcher searches on Google for a particular query, before Google can show the relevant website to the user, Google needs to make a lot of decisions, because there are millions of pages on the web that have created the same content that you did, even better than you did. So Google will need to use the algorithm to determine the best website that matches the searcher's intent, and that is where content relevance comes in. And the next thing is that content Google will show, we need to consider the content quality. Content quality now, it goes beyond the information on a page. Most of the time when people hear about content quality, the first thing they think about is maybe how the contents are structured, maybe how the information, the text, the video on that particular page resonates with the users. Yes, that is part of it, but that is not all. From Google's perspective, content quality would mean the overall layout of a website, how users can interact with a website, how the images are being laid out, the page speed. That is content quality in terms of Google. It's not just about the information or the text on the page. And lastly, Google will also consider the content usability. What I mean by content usability here is that Google would need to consider if a particular website is usable enough to be shown to users on Google. And in this case, we'll talk about, let's say, page speed, page performance. If a website is not usable on mobile, and right now we know that Google now prioritizes mobile first indexing. So those are the things that Google will need to consider before determining if a particular page should be shown to users on Google. And again, lastly, one of the reasons why we should consider content SEO and technical SEO is because we want to reach the business target audience. Like I said the other time, that a lot of businesses are actually showing their websites on Google. Why? What is the reason? They want to generate traffic, they want to sell more. And who are they selling to? It would be their target audience, not just anyone on the internet. So it's important, if we should consider these two elements, it would gear us up more to tighten up our SEO strategy in such a way that even when we are creating content, we are not thinking of content alone. We are thinking of the technical part of it, so that we can achieve the business goal. So what does technical SEO focus on? So I want us to understand why technical SEO is important and why content is important, so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to merge the two processes together and to achieve the best results. So for technical SEO, what it achieves is that it helps us to achieve an easy to crawl and understandable website for search engines. The first thing is that we are actually creating content. We are we are optimizing our websites, the whole various elements on our website for search engines. So what technical SEO, what it focuses on is ensuring that our website is easy to crawl and it's easy to understand for search engines, because if search engines can't understand our websites, then there is a problem. That is where the problem has started from. It would mean that users might not even able to access our website. So we should have it at the back of our mind that we are building and maintaining quality platform for searchers, both human and search engines. That is what technical SEO focuses on. So let us look at some technical SEO elements to think about when we are considering technical SEO and content SEO. And I will start from the basics, from the scratch, which is about, is the website crawlable? Because there's no point in building strategy for a website that Google cannot even reach. So that is why it's important to check for accessibility. Can Google access this website? Can Google see it? It's important. I love to use this analogy that, imagine you've invited your friend to see you at a particular time, and your friend has come, your friend is knocking, but you refuse to open the door. In such a case, would you blame your friend for not coming? No, your friend has actually come, but you did not open the door. So in a case where our website is not accessible to Google, it might be our fault, because their job is to ensure they crawl different websites to present the best to searchers on Google. So it's important that we check for accessibility on our website. So let's look at some factors that can affect how Google access a website. The first one is enabling important content with JavaScript. Yes, using JavaScript is good because it helps us to have an interactive website. But at the same time, we also need to be careful of how JavaScript is being implemented. One of the common scenarios is using JavaScript to enable important content, for example, the navigational menu. And this is what mostly happens. When Google visits a particular page, Google would need to check the HTML to fully understand how the page is laid out. But if the important content that we need Google to see are only blocked by JavaScript, they are not readily available on HTML, it might be a problem because Google won't be able to see the content, not to talk of indexing them. So enabling important content with JavaScript can be a major problem for crawlability. Another thing is poor internal linking. Now, if we think about how the web is made up, the web is made up of links, and that is how search crawlers can see many pages, many websites from one end to an end. So likewise, for a website, if we have poor internal linking, whereby there is no proper content grouping on our website, and that is poor information architecture, it might be difficult for Google to discover other pages on our website. And with that, we might be curious to know, why is Google not seeing this particular page on my website? So poor internal linking can affect how Google access our website. And lastly, the last thing I would love to discuss here is server related issues. I would love to say that these are not the only factors that can affect how Google sees our website, but these are the most common issues. The server related issues can affect how Google access our page, and most of the time these server related issues is always happen when Google is making the request from the server and it's not responding. Google would rather reduce the crawling or back out from crawling such a website. So it can be an issue. So now, if we have a particular page and we would want to know if Google can crawl the website, if Google can access the website, how can we check that? The first way is by using the URL inspection tool. and we can find this through Google Search Console. All right, so when we get to Google Search Console from anywhere on the page, we would always see this particular search bar, and we can now plug in the particular URL that we are curious to know if Google is accessing the page or not. Once we do that, we will see another page where we will get enough information about what is actually going on for the URL or the page. So in this case, we'll see that this page is not indexed, and why. Google has discovered it, but it is not currently indexed. It means that Google has seen the page, but it has not crawled it. If we are interested in investigating this, we would know where to start from. The question would be, why is Google not crawling this page before we even start thinking about the ranking? So another way of checking for how Google accesses a page is by using the mobile-friendly test tool. All right, so for this particular URL, I use the mobile friendly test to actually check if the page is mobile friendly. But to my surprise, I saw that Google is having issue crawling the website. So I didn't stop there. I needed to go back to the Google Search Console to see what is going on with the crawlability. So to check for crawlability on Google Search Console, we can use the crawl stats. Once we get to Google Search Console, we will navigate to the settings section. Then we click the crawl stats. With that, you'll be able to see what is going on, and if there is no problem as well, you would see that. So in this case, I was able to see that it was the server that is affecting how Google is accessing this website. So it can be a very good tool for us to use the mobile friendly test tool if we do not have access to Google Search Console. At least we'll be able to see what is going on, even if we can't dig deeper. So now, having checked that the URL is crawlable, then we should move on to the next stage, which is the indexability. Indexability means that Google wants to archive a particular page into their index. So it's important that we know if a page or a website is indexable. And also, there are some factors that can affect the indexability of a site. The first one here is using the no index tag wrongly. Even from the expression no index, it absolutely mean don't index it. And when Google sees such a tag, Google would respect it. Google won't pick up anything from such a page. So using no index tag wrongly can affect how Google will archive our page or our website into their index. And the next one is poor redirect. Um, Poor redirects can also be a problem because there are times that we have a new URL or we edit the old URL. Now it's time to redirect it to the new one. But if the redirect is not well set, Google might get confused and might not know where the new URL is, and to know which one to actually index. Then thirdly, canonicalization can also be an issue. This is mostly common for e-commerce websites that tend to have multiple similar pages. So if canonicalization is a problem in this kind of website, it would mean that Google doesn't know which one to choose as the master version or as the original version. And if we leave Google in a state of confusion, Google might just pick anyone, which we do not actually want Google to choose. And lastly is setting up XML sitemap incorrectly. This also can be a problem because XML sitemap is for showing Google pages that we want them to index. But when we start including pages that Google should not index or show to users on Google, it can affect the indexability of important pages on our website. So it's important that we check all these things even before moving ahead for any other SEO strategy, be it link building or anything. And now, lastly, we'll talk about ranking. Ranking is always have the loudest voice in SEO. Everyone is talking about ranking. But what actually happens before ranking? I'm glad that we've seen all those ones. We've seen crawlability, indexability, and ranking. But for the fact that a website has been indexed, it does not mean that it will surely be ranked. So there are some elements as well that can affect a web page or a website from being ranked by Google. So let's look at them. The first one is using non-secure pages. That is using HTTP instead of HTTPS. There are still some websites right now that they are still using HTTP instead of HTTPS. In such a case, Google would not want to show a non-secure website to users on Google, so it can affect ranking. The next one is poor content quality. I've mentioned this one earlier on, how content quality is important to Google. Thirdly, backlinks. This backlinks is one of the ways that we can strategize ranking on Google, because Google wants to see multiple pages, multiple URLs showing their vote of confidence, of trust to a particular web page. And as much as Google is seeing vote of confidence, and that's how Google will keep on showing such a page. And lastly is slow websites. A website that is slow will is not something that Google also wants to show. A website that takes forever to load, users would likely leave such a website. So having looked at these elements of technical SEO, let's look at how content also blends in together so that we can achieve our goals. Now, I don't know if we've ever seen a website without a content. It's not possible, because a website without a content means it hasn't been constructed at all. It is not even available. So if we are looking at having content on our website, what are the things that we should look into? What are the things that we should work on? Firstly, we should understand the industry and audience knowledge. This is critical in our process, because we can't be creating content for people that we do not know. We can't be creating content just from the top of our head for the sake of it. It's important that we understand the industry and the audience that we are creating our content for. And that is what will actually lead us to keyword research. Keyword research is about researching the words that our audience they are using on Google, so that we can know how to tailor our content to them in such a way that it will meet their needs, it will answer their query, they will feel satisfied when they go through such content. And the last thing is creating audience focused content. It's a content that users will see and they will be happy, they will feel like it has solved their problem. And when if we are able to achieve this, we won't be leaving food on the table for our competitors, because once users are not satisfied with our content, they will definitely move to competitors, so which is very critical to businesses. So we've been able to see that technical SEO is about building and maintaining easy to use platform for searchers, while content SEO is developing quality and perfect message for the audience. So when we match the two together, it would mean that we have a perfectly tailored content on an easy to access platform for search engines. So once those two matches together, we'll see that there will be free flow of our strategy. So now we are getting to where we are going, which is about how can we now bridge the two together, how to bridge content SEO and technical SEO. If we look at the picture here, we can see that the bridge is broken. So our process, what we are about to look at now, will help us to achieve a free flow of content SEO and technical SEO at the same time. So firstly, it's about clarity. We need to be clear to search engines, and we also need to be clear to humans. It's search engines have certain elements that they check in the HTML DOM, they check from the top, from the head, the body, and every other important element on the page title, and that is why we have elements like page title, H1 to H6, meta descriptions, alt text if we are using images. These are some ways where we can be clear to search engines and even to users. For example, when we implement H1 to H6, it helps us to build relevant semantic relevance between contents. As users are seeing H1, H2, we are explaining deeper, and users will tend to understand such a content better. Likewise, search engines. So we should be clear enough in our content creation. The next one is using structured data. We know that structured data does not necessarily guarantee ranking, but it's a way of modifying how how we appear on SERPs, how we appear on Google, because it helps Google to understand web pages. So I would love to um, analyze structured data as a way of picking major elements, picking important elements on our website for Google to see immediately without stressing Google. So that is what structured data achieves. For example, we have different kinds of structured data. We have how to, that is if you have a how to page. We have FAQ. If you have a page that is about FAQ, that answers questions and gives answers to it, you can mark up such a page with the FAQ structured data. So here's an example of a website that implemented structured data on their content, and it actually worked for them. So on this page, you'll see that the page has the image is showing the rating, the timing of the procedure. So we can see that structured data has helped out this content as shown on Google. Even before seeing the first organic result on Google, we can see this one as a first one, and users are most likely to click any of this even before checking the first page on Google. And another structured data that we can implement in some cases is breadcrumbs. For this website now, they implemented breadcrumbs for the content, and some subsections of the page actually showed on Google, which is also a way of boosting traffic to a website. For instance, if I should Google search this and I can still see top tips for the best results, I would want to click on it. Even if I'm not clicking the heading, I might want to see the top tips. So it's a way of enhancing how a website shows on Google. Now, the next point that we need to also consider when we are thinking technical SEO and content SEO is image. Images are now popularly used on websites, and that is because they help users to understand more about a page. They help users journey on a page, and that is why we need to use images on our website. But at the same time, we still need to be careful on how images are being implemented, because they can affect page speed when they are bulky, when we have them too heavy on our web pages. It can also affect accessibility, can affect core web vitals, because when Google accesses a page, Google looks for the loading, the interactivity, and the visual stability. Likewise, I believe humans will also want to get all of this in a on a web page. Let's imagine you access a website that loads quickly, but you are trying to click buttons on the page. Nothing is interacting with you. Would you still stay on such a website? Absolutely no. Nobody wants to wait for forever on a page that is not responding. So we need to be careful on how we use images on our website. And if we are using images, there are some things we need to consider. So when using images on our website, we should ensure that we are using a descriptive file name for these images, a descriptive file name that users can understand, search engines can understand, human being can understand. It has to be relevant to the content of the page. For instance, if you have a page that's about female wears and you describe something like lingerie, in this case now, you can name, depending on the image that you use, ensure that you name the image based on the content on that page, so that Google bots can see the relevance between the image and the content on that page. So the next one is, we should never forget to resize images before we upload them. This is very important. Like I said, that heavy images, bulky images can affect page speed, can affect our core web vitals. Then thirdly, we should remember to use descriptive alt text. Alt text is important for images because it's for clarification and for accessibility. This is very, very important if we really want all internet users to benefit from our website. We need to use alt text for images on our website, so that people with physical challenges or people that are browsing with poor internet connection and Google can't actually load the image, they will still benefit from the image. And lastly, we should use the right image format. This is very, very important. Although using the right image formats can be subjective, but depending on what we want to use the image for. If we are using animation, we might use GIF for them. And right now, Google has recommended using WebP for site images because they are compressed, and again, they have high quality, even looking at the fact that they are compressed. And the next one is the URL structure. It seems that a lot of websites are actually getting better at using URL structure, but we should remember that our URL structure needs to be descriptive and it has to be easy to read to human, not parameters, not different elements that are not readable. So we should try to have a descriptive URL structure. And lastly is about links. Links are important. That is how Google see new pages on websites. So if we have a page, we shouldn't just leave that page alone. That page should link to another page, and another page that is relevant to that page on our website should link to it. That is how we can help Google to see every page, every important pages on our website. Building internal links is very critical. I've seen a lot of websites, they create content, yes, but in terms of linking, they only do external links, but internally they are lagging behind. So we should think about how to build links in our within our content, and having a content strategy, a working content strategy, will help us to achieve that. So I want us to remember that without technical SEO, there is no crawling. If we are not conscious of having a technically optimized website, our websites might not be crawled and they might not be indexed or ranked. Likewise, for content SEO, it would mean that we have a website that users cannot get value from. Users can see, maybe we have some information on the website, but they are not tailored to the target audience, because that's what content SEO focuses on. So when we are thinking in our SEO strategy, we should think technical SEO alongside our content process. Especially this is common to content creation. People just think about what's the keyword, yes, plug it in this section, plug it in here in the meta description, and that's all. No, we should also think of other basic technical elements that can make our content creation to be better and that can reward our efforts. So having done that, I hope I've been able to help us bridge the gap a little bit between technical SEO and content SEO. So thank you everyone for listening to me. So if you have any question, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you once again.
Fantastic presentation, Debbie. That was fantastic. At a certain point, Nikki and I were laughing because we were seeing your slide and we were like, oh my God, that happened to me. Oh my God, that happened to me. So we were laughing.
All these
Thank
memories.
Thank you
so
for
many
the
good
memories.
truths. So many good truths.
So you really did an excellent job, really fantastic job, Debbie. Are you happy also with your presentation? Because it was great. Like even once she went away, check people. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Debbie. Fantastic. So well done, really well done. So now it's the moment of the questions. So let's go with the questions. So I already have seen a question in some place. It was, I guess, about the website migration. Sorry, I have many guests today. There is Nick and my son that entered the room. Okay, so let's go back to you. So somebody, Irene, asked, would you redirect URLs that are old and set as no index? So I give you an example. Let's say then you have a website migration. So in the website migration, you will do a redirect map, and then you have those old URL which are set to no index, which are not on Google because they're set to no index, and then they're asking, should I redirect them, yes or no? Oops, I lost Debbie. No, we lost Debbie.
Timed out.
Wait, she had some problem of connection, but she was able to arrive. She's back.
Again.
Yeah, exactly. So, did you hear
I'm
the
here.
question, Debbie? Did you hear the question or no?
Yes, I think I'm seeing it here. I'm seeing it.
Okay. So,
Yes, I'm seeing it here as well. Would you redirect URLs?
Yeah, exactly that one. Then the URL are set to no index, so it means then they are not on Google as first place.
Okay, I think for this, setting up redirects automatically makes the old URL not indexable to Google, because once Google checks the old URL and see a redirect tag on it, Google would not index it, and Google would want to index the new one now. So there's really no point setting no index on an old URL that you've redirected again.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. If I don't know if you check in the Google documentation, which sites for the picture do you recommend?
For this, I can't say to be specific because it is subjective. It depends on the kind of picture, but maybe to cap it, we can drill it down to 100 kilobytes max, but that is not the cap for pictures. That's why I said it's subjective and it depends on the kind of images that you have.
Perfect. Thank you. Somebody else have some question? Let's see if something else. Okay. What do you do by canonical links? What do you do by canonical links? I'm not sure what they want to say with that. Like
maybe when to use.
When to use. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When to use the canonical link. Okay. Maybe it was that. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. We use canonical links when we have duplicate content cases. For example, maybe you have more than 2 pages, more than 3 pages targeting the same keyword, or they have the same content. It's just that maybe little things in terms of color or sizes, those are just the little differences in the content. In this case now, to avoid duplicate content issue, because Google doesn't want to be confused with the content on the web page. So to help Google to understand which one is the original, which one is the master version that you want Google to pick up, instead of giving Google the chance of trying to choose which one should I index, which one should I index. So setting up canonical tag will help Google to understand, oh, this is the master version, this is the original. Every other ones are duplicates, so I do not need to index them. So that is when we use canonical tags. I hope that answers it.
Yes. Anyway, if that it was the correct question, so we are answering. So, okay, anybody has another question?
From the chat. But I have a question, if that's all right to kind of do that in this format. So I love that you started off as a content writer and have, through your journey, really understood and learned so much more about SEO and about technical SEO, which is actually how I started out as well, by the way. What was the point where you realized, oh, wow, there's so much more to this, and I'm really interested in the technical aspect of SEO? What was the sort of light bulb moment for you?
Oh, I would say that that started immediately when I started content writing. Because when I learned content writing as a career, I started hearing about SEO again, and I was like, God, where do I start from? I just learned about content, then I'm hearing about SEO again. So I jumped on Moz. There's this content by Moz where they define SEO for beginners. So I saw a lot of elements of SEO. I saw keyword research. I was interested in that because it's perfectly aligned with the content that I was doing then. Then I also saw technical SEO. I was going through it, but it was too technical for me, and I think I needed help. I stopped at that point and just focused on the keyword aspect, which helped my content writing. Then last year, I was able to get mentorship through the FCDC with Alida, and I was able to start learning technical SEO since that time.
That is amazing. That is an amazing journey, and I hope that many other people that are interested in content and are working in content follow your pattern, and they get interested also in technical SEO, because technical SEO is amazing, by the way. So, so I think then there are no more questions around. And again, you can always reach Debbie on Twitter, on LinkedIn. This is your opportunity. When I switch off the camera, is off the camera. You don't have like Debbie directly there. So ask. Okay, you have somewhere done. Yeah, that's Ale. Everybody, bravo Debbie, because she was amazing. She did an amazing presentation. So, yeah.
Debbie, what is your Twitter handle for people to reach out to you?
Isaline put it there at the top, but yet it's better if we repeat it again, maybe. Can you write it in the chat?
I don't have.
Isaline
Okay.
put it there.
Thank you, Isaline.
That is Isaline. She's mythical. She's
Thank
incredibly good. Okay. So Debbie, you did your job. Thank you so much, and I hope that you inspire many other people to follow your pattern and to learn everything about tech SEO.
Thank you for having me.
You are fantastic. Thank you so much. Ciao, Debbie, and thank you. And bye, Nick. No, you stay with me. She's on my place.
Thank you so much for tuning in. It was an honor to be here with SEO Nerds Switzerland. And well done, Debbie. Follow this channel, follow Debbie, follow Sarah, follow Isaline, and let's keep the good chat going on Twitter.
On Twitter, yes, obviously. Ciao. Ciao to everybody. Thank you so much, Debbie. I stop recording? Yes. Stop recording.